I'm already doing it.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Hill Kings Podcast. We're back. What the fuck was that you were just drinking out of? Let's get right into it. What is that? Was that a baby baba? What was that? We're back. We haven't recorded in a month. What was that? Show
This
it.
is a soda.
Pull it up.
It's a soda pop.
It's a soda
that's not
pop.
my drink. I
Oh,
just
it's
tried
like
to
a
sip from the
koozie
mic.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We're rusty. It's been a while. What do you got
keeps
in
it
there?
cold.
What are you sipping on? Milk?
Soda. Adult soda.
Breast milk? Adult
Yeah,
soda?
adult soda.
It's beer, isn't it?
It's
You're drinking
it's hops
beer.
and water.
For context, we are recording this episode at, what is it, 10
Yes,
in the
it's
morning?
10 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah, and Chris is drinking
It
beer.
is.
Wow.
It is past 6 o'clock on the Sabbath,
Yes, it is Sunday.
the day that the Lord has made.
Probably not when you're listening to this. It might be Sunday when you're listening to this, in which case, how was church?
Yeah. And if it's Sunday when you're listening to this, stick around for the bonus track.
What's that going to be?
If it's Sunday, they'll find out.
Okay. It's been a while.
Dude.
How the fuck are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. You know.
You just went on a baby moon. I just went to Iceland for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to turn my little TV on. Hold on. Hold, please. Keep the audience entertained.
Certainly. Okay, viewers, what do you think Brad is going to put on here? I am guessing that he is going to turn on Fraggle Rock or something else with the puppet. This guy loves puppets, in case you can't tell. What's he got? The Oregon Trails cow?
Were you just sitting here in silence that whole time?
No, the listeners and I took a bet on what you were going to put on.
Oh, what did you bet on?
If it's Sunday, then you will find out later.
Okay. I guess I'll find out when I edit this.
Yeah, you'll find out in post.
If we can continue doing this fucking show together or not. How was the baby moon? Oh, this is the Hill Kings podcast, by the way. The only podcast where a couple of chums, couple of old pals talk about a cartoon.
Yeah, there's
a couple of dudes in their 30s talk about a little cartoon.
There's no other
that
podcasts of 30-year-old dudes talking about cartoons.
On microphones talking about cartoons.
That's a fact.
Yeah, we've really broken the mold here. We're original. How's the baby
moldy.
moon? Where'd you go?
It was good, dude. It was pretty chill. Just hung out on the beach.
I asked where you
read
went.
some books. I had some real good shrimp.
Where'd you go? Where'd you
Georgia,
go?
bro. We went to Jekyll Island.
Georgia? They have beaches in
dude,
Georgia?
They got beaches in Georgia. Don't you know your geography?
No, apparently not. I didn't know they had beaches in Georgia. Like ocean beaches?
Yeah, dude. They're on the Atlantic.
Is that like a tourist destination for beaches? I know that there is coastline in Georgia, but like tourist beaches and like
it's definitely
resorts and things?
It's definitely a tourist destination. It's not like the most white sand, clear water beaches you're ever going to find. But
what do you mean white sand? You wanted it to be only white people there?
No, it was mostly white people there.
Wow. Which is why you went.
No, we went because it looked cute and cool. But this place we went, Jekyll Island, is do you know about Jekyll Island?
No, I don't.
But anybody with the some historical knowledge of the Federal Reserve will know that Jekyll Island is where the original American oligarchs kind of set about financial plans for the Federal Reserve and everything. This is where, like, back in the late 1800s, all the big money in the South, it's where all they vacationed and stuff. It's strange, like the Vanderbilts and
Jekyll Island facts.
Jekyll Island, look it up, bros.
Let's
learn your financial history.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Federal entity. Whoa. But no, it was cool.
But it was good though. Are you feeling pretty pregnant?
Dude, I'm I'm pregnant as hell. Yep. No, we just
That
chugging
baby
along.
bump is showing.
Yes, viewers will note that this room I'm in looks very blank, and there's something behind me, and that is a not put together crib over there.
Wow.
Because we,
It's been not put together for a
yeah, I
while.
know, we just let the
When are you
baby
gonna
sleep on
get
the
around to
floor.
building that? Yeah, the baby's
Yeah,
here,
dude.
man. The little guy's just kind
Yeah,
of
dude, he
roaming
sleeps in our
around.
bottom drawer.
Yeah, a little fucker
Yeah,
just kind of swings
little
around the
Great Depression
house.
style. We put him in a drawer.
That's, I mean, drawers are pretty
Yeah,
secure,
dude, it's not
right?
like he's going anywhere.
Yeah.
No, this will be a nursery eventually. But yeah, we all types of pregnant right now. Yeah,
It's
dude.
pretty fun.
How was Iceland? Icy land? You went to 7-Eleven
I went
to get an icy?
yeah, I went to get an icy for 2 weeks. I got kind of lost. No, it was cool. We stayed in a van, just the two of us, a tiny, tiny little van. Slept in that for 2
Uh-huh.
weeks.
You
Drove around the whole country. Went rock
went clamming.
climbing. Saw some sheep.
Saw some ship.
Saw some
Did you learn any
puffins.
fun Icelandic words? Would you like to butcher the language for our
Uh,
viewers and listeners?
Erskil ekki Íslensku. That means I don't speak any Icelandic.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think just by the virtue of you probably saying that phrase, they would probably understand that. Like, oh yeah, he doesn't.
no, it's
Well, that was
pretty
pretty
good
good.
actually. I tried it out a couple
Yeah,
times. Weird language, weird
a lot of
folk
J's.
there too. Kind of strange people, but nice and beautiful.
Would you
Beautiful
go
place.
back?
I would go
Yeah.
back. Yeah, I probably wouldn't go back in a van for 2 weeks. Um, Maybe like 1 week in a van and then hang out in one spot for a little
Yeah.
while. But the southern coast, we went to this like island off the southern
Mm.
coast that was, we had to like take a ferry there. That's where we did like the kayak puffin tour.
Ooh.
Shout out to Kayak and Puffins.
Oh yeah.
They were super nice. It was just like a couple of like research scientists that do
Heck
tours,
yeah.
and they taught us all about how the fucking world is
Nice, dude.
ending and all the puffins are
Yeah,
dying.
dude. Man-made climate change. We're killing the puffins, bro.
Yeah,
Shoot.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got to see one of those puffers. Uh, whop. Any did anything King of the Hill related come up for you while you were traipsing Iceland?
Well, kind of apropos to this episode,
Ooh,
I was dealing with a little bit of constipation.
episode.
The first,
Episode.
that was
Oh,
good.
okay.
That
Are
was
are you free now?
yeah,
Did you make?
yeah. I freed myself on the trip. We'll talk about it once we get into the ep. But it's not that hard to. I mean, you just gotta take some stuff for
Yes.
it, Which Hank does in the episode. We'll get to all
Yes,
of that.
certainly.
I am driving the mower this episode, but as we all know, as longtime fans, as I'm sure we have certainly hundreds of thousands of at this
I'm
point.
mom, longtime fan.
Yeah, your
Mhm.
mom's gonna. You think your mom's actually gonna watch?
No, I don't think she knows what a podcast really is.
She's really big on YouTube.
My dad would probably watch. I don't know. We'll see. What
Yeah.
up, Ben?
Shouts out. Yeah. But for all the longtime fans, we have a little segment we like to do before we get into the episode, called This Week in Arlen. Cue theme
Oh,
song.
wait. First of all, this is season 1, episode 6. Episode 6. Hank's
Episode sick, and it is sick.
Hank's unmentionable problem.
That'll be in the title.
Oh, fuck. Go to the damn.
Here's This Week in Arlen. All right. This Week in Arlen, February 23rd, 1977. Of course, this is the segment of the show where we talk about what was going on the planet Earth when this episode of King of the Hill aired, or around the time that this episode of King of the Hill aired. Always like to start it off with a little glimpse at the TV guide. So we've got our standard Sunday night fare here.
Hell yeah, dude.
The Simpsons.
World's Deadliest Volcanoes is on at 8, bro.
Yeah. Speaking of volcanoes, there was a volcano erupting in Iceland
Heck yeah.
while we were there. It stopped erupting like as soon as we got
Yeah,
there.
that makes sense.
Of course. Yeah.
We heard y'all
but
were coming.
pretty much the entire island is
Do you know the Icelandic
rock,
word for volcano?
I'm pretty sure it's like Vulkanschlis.
There we go. Icelanders, sound off in the comments.
Yeah, I'm going to get canceled by the whole country of Iceland. Yeah. Schindler's List was up against King of the Hill this episode.
Oh, my.
What do you think you would have chosen to watch?
Yeah.
King of the Hill or Shindy's List?
It depends on what kind of mood I'm in, I guess.
Watching Schindler's List with commercial breaks sounds fucking wild to me. Like it just like breaks from a super serious scene and goes to like a Tide commercial. It seems like it would kind of take you out of that super serious movie, right?
Especially if you switched from Fox to NBC and went from World's Funniest Outtakes to Schindler's List.
You're flipping between World's Deadliest Volcanoes and Schindler's List.
Yeah, this was a nice Sunday night. This was a nice Sunday lineup. And America's Castles is up there on A&E. Architectural masterpieces. That's the type of thing that I probably would have watched as a kid. I'd be like, oh, these castles are so cool.
At 10 p.m.
Yeah, maybe.
Past your bedtime on a Sunday.
We had a TV in our room.
When this episode came out, you were what, 4 years old?
Yeah, I would have been a baby. Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't have been watching it.
You had a TV in your room from the jump, from the get-go?
We did.
Watching Barney?
We did have a TV in our room. Kyle and I did whenever we were super little. I remember back living in our old house. I don't think it was hooked up to cable.
That was the dream for me.
It had a VCR like in the TV, so I would just be watching VCR movies all the time. I don't think it had cable.
I didn't have a TV in my room until high school. I would sneak up actually past my parents' room. I may have told this story on the podcast already. To watch Conan every night, I would like sneak into the basement and like turn the TV on as quietly as I could.
Just get super close to it
and listen like super close to the TV so I could hear it. But yeah, this is what was going on Sunday. Classic Simpsons episode, kind of. This was when The Simpsons, I've mentioned many times, was starting to go downhill. But the guy who played objective fact, the guy who played Frasier's brother on Frasier, yes, Niles, played Sideshow Bob's brother in this episode of The Simpsons. And Sideshow Bob is voiced by Kelsey Grammer. As we all know. So it was like kind of a crossover thing, but not really because they were playing different characters. But yeah, he was kind of like a Niles-esque character in the episode as well.
Yeah, he looks square. He's got a sweater vest on, but they got Bob in a suit. What's he doing there?
Yeah, I don't really remember this episode. I feel like I should go back and watch it.
Looks fun.
Yeah. Maybe bonus episode.
Also, if the viewers didn't know, Brad really likes Simpsons. If you guys haven't figured out by now.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned that. Leprechaun 4 in Space came out. Here's a little clip for you.
Stay here! Don't move!
Yeah.
Proceeds to move.
Yeah. Did you ever watch all those Leprechaun movies?
I remember the first one. Jennifer Aniston was in it.
Yeah, we used to rent them all the time.
Which is really all I remember.
Family Video. Yeah.
Which
followed Blockbuster and was much less expensive, but they had all those kind of B and C grade movies, and we, my brothers and I and our friends, we all watched those eventually. Those movies are fun.
They are good. I love a good B horror movie. Also on this night, the Knicks beat the Lakers 127-121, and Eldon Campbell dropped 40 and 10. Who the fuck is Eldon? Who remembers Eldon Campbell? Shout out in the comments.
Lakers fans from the 90s do.
Yeah. Patrick Ewing also dropped 34, 5, and 24 rebounds.
Patrick Hewing? Just kidding. I know who Patrick Ewing is.
Fish Food, the famous Ben & Jerry's flavor, was released this week.
It's probably tasty.
Deep
cut. What's the flavor profile?
You've never had Fish Food?
No, I don't think I've had that flavor.
Oh, shit. What
are they still making it?
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course.
it's pretty
Are you a
good.
fish guy?
I'm not a fish
Yeah.
guy. I mean, no hate to
What's your
anyone who
favorite
is.
sprongly wheedly deedly band?
Sprongly Weedly. I mean, I don't dislike Grateful Dead.
Doesn't dislike. He's on record, folks. He does not dislike the Grateful Dead.
Oh, fish food is swirled chewy marshmallow and gooey caramel in chocolate ice
Ooh,
cream.
ooh,
Fire.
that does sound good.
Marshmallow is basically like a s'more
Mm-hmm.
situation. I love Ben and Jerry's. It's always
Yeah, dude.
good. They never miss. Also, the Spice Girls and Fugees performed on
Hell
the
yeah,
Brit
dude.
Awards and also both won, but like imagine them performing back to back.
That'd be
Wild.
wild. You know, British people could not handle that.
Yeah. Either or by Elliott Smith came out
Ooh.
on Tuesday. So classic Elliott Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Twisted Metal
Hell yeah, dude.
2 came out that week on the
Yeah,
PlayStation.
dude.
I don't know if you ever
Yes,
played
we did
Twisted
play
Metal
some
2.
Twisted
That game
Metal.
was fucking gas. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Murray was born on this day.
Happy birthday, Jamal Murray.
NBA champ. Jamal Murray, Canadian fucking legend as well. So
Hell yeah, dude.
Jamal Murray
Nice.
shouts out. That and that was This Week in Army. What do you think?
That's an action-packed week. That was a
What?
nice week. It was a nice week of programming.
Solid week. Solid little week. Should we get into the
Let's
show?
get down to the bottom of it. The bottom.
Let's get okay. Save it for the recap, all right?
Check it out, 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 check it out.
So episode 6, Hank's Unmentionable Problem. This episode is basically about Hank can't shit. And that's basically the whole episode.
Yeah, he's constipated.
So we open on Peggy playing Boggle.
Yes.
Which is a through line for Peggy and her character being a Boggle champ.
I think this is our first Boggle reference. It's either the first or the second. I noted that down. I think that this might be our first. It might have been verbally alluded to in previous episodes. I'm not sure, but that might be our first Boggle.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think it is. Hank comes out of the bathroom. You find out he can't shit. They get right into it.
There's a quick Luann interaction with Peggy before Hank comes out of the bathroom.
How she asks about how beauty school is going.
She passed lather, she failed rinse, and she failed repeat because repeat has rinse in it, and she didn't think that was fair.
To rinse too.
Which I thought was very funny.
Yeah. Peggy tries to give Hank some Mega Mucil.
Oh.
Which I thought was a fun.
That is right off the top whenever Peggy brings in that, which that means that Peggy is probably shitting a lot.
Well, she does mention later in the episode that she takes like 2 heaping spoonfuls every night, which for my IBS girlies and my constipated kings out
there.
Hell
yeah, shout out to you.
You know how it be. Metamucil's a game changer though.
Did that help you in Iceland? What helped you in Iceland? How did you get over?
I took some straight up laxies, bro. I laxed it out, and then I couldn't stop.
You guys were in a van, so I'm guessing you were at just like a campsite restaurant, like a pit.
Yeah, we were campsite bathrooms for 2 weeks. Yeah, or like cafes.
Nice, dude.
It was rough. It was. I actually preferred being constipated.
So you were just some American guy coming into some nice like Icelandic cafe.
Hey, I'm not American.
Yeah, so you're just some North American guy.
Canadian.
You're North American.
Get it right. And, yeah, I'll take that.
Well, to them they were probably like these Americans.
Yeah.
So the rest of the day, you were probably the joke of some shopkeeper of just some guy.
They're like, oh, this guy came and took a big fat one.
They bought one bottle of water and clogged the toilet.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. We'll stop talking about.
I didn't clog anything, for reference, but Metamucil is the best. Shout out if they want to sponsor the show. I would love that. Maybe you could be our first sponsor. The following morning, after Peggy is like trying to give Hank some advice on how to make. They're sitting down for breakfast. Bobby's got like some sausage and some eggs. And Peggy brings out some bran muffins instead of the sausage.
Yep.
Bobby mentions that Hank was in the hour for an hour last night.
We get a nice okay dad from Bobby here.
Okay,
dad. Bobby or Hank says not to talk about it, and he just says, "Okay, dad."
Yeah, I need a soundbite of that.
We definitely do. Hank feeds the muffins to Ladybird.
Yep, this is actually, I believe, our first Ladybird.
We've seen her before. This is going to be one of.
But this is the first time he mentions her name, I think.
I don't think so. I didn't flip back my notes, but I think he said her name.
I wrote it in my notes as first Ladybird. Granted, I watched this episode before I went to Iceland.
We're a little scatterbrained.
That is in my notes.
Yeah, I'd have to look for it, but he might have said her name. But yeah, we get some nice. He also he's letting Ladybird out, and he mumbles under his breath as she's doing her business. He just mumbles, "Show off."
This is where he feeds her the bran muffins.
Yes.
So basically, the note that I had is the first like Ladybird mention, and it was a poop joke.
Nice.
We also get Peggy and Nancy sitting down at the table, and Peggy just like fully divulging all of Hank's secret information.
Yeah.
And we get the first reference of Nancy being a weather girl.
Yes.
She tries to diagnose Hank and says as a meteorologist. But then quickly corrects herself.
She says, "I'm not a doctor, I'm a meteorologist, but I think it's polio." And then she goes, "Well, I'm not a meteorologist, I'm a weather girl." After that, yeah. And then Peggy says something in this conversation. She says, "He looks so healthy," and Nancy goes, "So did Elvis Presley."
Who famously also died of being constipated.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not a meteorologist. She's a weather girl.
Then we get Hank and the gang talking in the alley. He's chatting with Dale and Bill. They obviously already know about all of this as well already. Mentions that once every 4 or 5 days is fine, but everyone's just giving him advice anyway.
Yeah, he kind of gaslights Bill. Or he tries to whenever, Bill is saying something that's normal. He's like, "Maybe you ought to be ashamed. Maybe you're going too much." Dale suggests, he goes, "What you do is you get a spoon of bacon grease." And Hank goes, "I'm not going to eat bacon grease." And he goes, "You didn't let me finish."
Was he insinuating that he's got a boof?
Probably.
Ooh. That sounds. Do you let it cool down first?
Ooh. I hope so.
Boiling hot.
Sizzling bacon grease.
Boomhauer also rolls up, and the random girl that he's with also gives Hank some advice. So even she knows that Hank can't take a shit.
He says, "Do I know you?" And she goes, "No, you don't."
And then we go inside, and Peggy is somehow watching a TV program about constipation, and we get another fucking C Everett Koop.
We get our second C Everett Koop.
Third. This is the third C Everett Koop. I believe.
It might be.
Yeah. It might be the second, but that's still, even if it is just the second, that's fucking wild.
It's a pretty funny reoccurring slight character for them to have.
Yeah, what a random recurring reference.
Yeah, but he's on the TV talking about
the Attorney General at the time. For anyone who doesn't know, he was the Attorney General during the
Surgeon General
or Surgeon General. Sorry, yes, during the AIDS crisis
during the Reagan administration.
Yes,
and he had a mustacheless beard,
which is always a good look.
You get to see their version
it's
of
always
him
hot
in this. You see him on the screen for a little bit,
and he's hot.
Yeah, dude, he's pretty steamy.
He's hot as fuck.
Oh my God!
He's a smart guy.
Hank comes in and changes the channel from this strange poop commercial, and says, "Who is that? Howard Stern?"
Yeah, he changes it to the news and Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy is talking about Hank's constipation on the news.
Very concerned. But yeah, Hank gets upset, rips the plugs out of the wall.
We then get Peggy making some dessert for Hank and Bobby, mixing up some chocolate sauce.
I think one other thing here. Whenever Hank rips the plugs out, Peggy starts to like ask him to open up. She's saying she's concerned or whatever, and Hank's just shutting her down, doesn't want to talk about it, and she finally says, so I'm just supposed to sit here silently with my worries, and Hank goes, finally. Peggy's obviously worried, and Hank is too embarrassed to put Peggy's mind at ease. Thought that was funny.
Do you get embarrassed about poop?
No.
No. If you're constipated, are you embarrassed about it?
No, probably because
I'm obviously not, because I'm talking about being constipated and then being the opposite of that in a foreign land.
I think maybe too because my wife works in the medical profession. That's just a very medical language about it.
Yeah, they know all about dookie. Yeah. They've seen way grosser shit than we've seen in our lines of work.
Yeah. Oh, for the gentleman in the audience, just a little PSA. It's okay to go to the doctor. It's okay to say I don't feel right.
Yeah, like boomery Southern, but mainly like a boomer thing, but very much a guy thing.
Definitely.
Like I think there's still a lot of guys in our generation who just refuse to go to the fucking doctor.
Yeah.
And therapy. You can go to therapy too.
Yeah, but if something's wrong with you physically, just go to the doctor, man. You can't out tough it. It's okay.
Yeah, sometimes you can. Sometimes you can out tough it. Like a broken bone, you're fine.
But Hank is obviously...
Don't go to the doctor for a broken bone. This is medical advice.
Walk it off, chump.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hank's very embarrassed about all of this stuff, though. Before they do the chocolate laxative scene, we get another return to the knockoff Luby's Cafe. There's a quick scene in the buffet, which they have called Luli's here, not Luby's, which is an actual buffet.
Yep.
Hank gets all red meat, and Peggy begs him to get a vegetable, and so Hank says, "Yeah, I'll have some of that mac and cheese too,"
which is a vegetable
in a roundabout way. We could get there.
It
took long enough, but yeah, they just have that one little scene. There's a little through line running through this is that Hank eats a lot of red meat,
which is a very Southern boomery man thing to do, and also he's a propane salesman.
So I got this in the beginning.
Of course, he eats steak.
Oh hell yeah, dude! It tastes the meat, not the heat.
Yeah.
In the beginning of this episode, I got this one confused with another episode that has to do with Hank's bowels. That comes up. I don't exactly know in which season, but we will.
There's more.
We will revisit Hank's colon again. Yes.
Oh, is that the one where he doesn't have a butt?
No, that's a different one.
So there's
a lot of episodes about Hank's butt. Yes.
Wow. Peggy's feet and Hank's butt.
Yes, this is the first Hank's butt episode.
Love that. That's what we'll call our fans. Hank's
butts. Strangely enough, I didn't pick up on any narrow urethra in this episode, which you figured might come up whenever they eventually go to talk about his health problems, that that's part of his medical history. But no, I didn't recall any. But yeah, let's get back to the flow down.
Narrow urethra is just a funny way to call someone a pencil dick.
Oh my god, it's so juicy.
Anyway, Peggy mixes up some laxatives, tries to dose Hank. Bobby obviously wants some. Hank's chowing down on it. Offers some to Bobby, which Bobby does eat.
Starts to,
It would be funny if they called back to that, if Bobby was shitting a bunch.
Yeah, we got a little callback with Lady Bird because she ate the muffins and then she does go and is able to poop. So he could have tried the muffins in the beginning and it might have worked.
He says, "You got to go again." So they did
Mm-hmm.
work. But Hank finds out that it's laxative because Bobby sells him out, and he gets super pissed and doesn't eat it. So basically just not trying any actual remedies, which is a typical guy
He's just
thing
trying to tough
do.
it out.
Peggy then has a very fucked up dream
Yeah.
about Hank dying.
This was one of my favorite scenes of the first commercial break for sure.
Yeah. Hank is painted his corpse is
Yes,
all
he's got the white
funeral makeup. Dale says it should have been
Dale
Bill,
says, yeah.
which I thought was really funny.
Bill says he looks like an angel, a dead angel.
Yeah, they're all they're all standing around his casket, and then the priest or whatever puts the
it's
casket
C Everett
in the ground and
Koop.
It is.
Yes,
that
dude,
was
C Everett Koop is running the funeral. You didn't pick up on that?
I didn't pick up on
Yeah,
that at all.
he says he says the closing funeral rites, and then like any other funeral, he said, there's weird elements, so he says and please pass up your algebra homework at the end of the dream.
Well, yeah, it's just like Peggy having an anxiety dream, just like that weird shit that doesn't make any sense.
C Everett Koop.
And then he flushes the casket into the ground, which I thought was a good touch. And Cotton shows up.
Yeah.
To do the flushing.
Cotton is being a pallbearer with the men in the yard, and it's very funny visually. Cotton is hanging off of the coffin. His feet aren't touching the ground in it. They show him that he's just kicking.
And the crazy thing is too, this is another Cotton sighting,
Mm-hmm.
Not a flashback this time, but still we've never actually met Cotton in the show. It's only been in
we've only had flashbacks so far.
Dreams and flashbacks.
Which I think is kind of a fun move in the beginning of this series for people to be like, okay, we've seen this little guy. We know this is Hank's dad, but we haven't met him yet. We don't know the viewer doesn't know at this time, is Cotton still alive? And this is just Hank's memories of him.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, fun.
I wonder if that was intentional. It would be interesting to know, why. Or if this was just a character that they had all the episodes written and it just shook out into a certain order and they were like, well, we don't really need to introduce this character. I kind of like it better that they haven't actually.
Yeah.
He hasn't actually shown up in the show.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think it's a cool move. But yeah, Peggy wakes up and is obviously freaked out. Hank is in the bathroom when she wakes up. He's
sleeping on the toilet.
She comes in, he freaks out because she's in there while he's pooping.
She's hugging
I don't know
him.
if you, how are you with doors and pooping?
I'm a door closer for the most part.
I am too.
The other person that I live with, whose name I will not say,
is the door open.
Open the door.
Open the door. We also have a couple other.
Open the door.
In our house, so we each have our own bathroom.
Open the door.
I'm sorry, that was the last one.
But unfortunately, right now, my location, that bathroom is under renovation, so I've been having to use the third location, which I don't like as much.
We have one bathroom in our house, and we've only ever had one bathroom in the entire almost decade that we've been together.
So you make your wife go outside.
Yeah, and she buries it in the yard like the dogs. No, we're door closed with number 2s, door open number 1. But we are also very vocal about our constipation journeys, as it were.
Yeah. Again, boys,
IBS girlies.
Just take care of your health.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You can go to the doctor.
It's okay. Just because you're constipated, it's nothing bad about you. You're not bad.
You are bad. I'm here
wrong.
to say that if you go to the doctor, there is something wrong with you, and it is your fault, and your dad is not proud of you.
If you're eating red meat 5 nights a week, maybe make different choices. But
that'll also probably give you colon cancer.
But yeah, Hank agrees to see the doctor, and that's kind of our first commercial break there.
Yes. After Peggy cries to him on the John, He agrees to finally go to the doctor. We come back right at the doctor's office. Hank gets recognized by Mrs. McIntosh, who is his second grade teacher, I believe.
Third grade.
Fourth grade was my
Third
note,
grade.
actually. It's fourth.
Third, bro.
Bet
I guarantee you it is
Bet
third.
right now. Let's go back and watch the
Yeah,
whole
dude,
episode.
what are we
It's
betting?
fourth.
The viewers got to hold us accountable over here.
If you lose, you have to chop off one of your fingers. Your choice. If I lose, I have to run 5K. Something really hard.
Dude, fair enough. I'll take that bet any day because it is
All right.
third grade.
Cool. Sick.
Listeners,
right.
tell us who's right and wrong. We're not going to look it up.
Yeah, we'll find out if next episode Chris is missing a finger or if I'm kind of sweaty.
I'm already missing a finger. Yeah.
Anyway,
here in the doctor's office,
Hank is
Bobby blows on the colon model too.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty funny.
Like a conch.
Yeah, Peggy
shell.
says, "Put that down. You don't know where it's been," and it's obviously it's a colon, so it's somebody's butthole.
It's been in poop. Yeah, that's where it's been. It's a real colon. Hank tries to make up another reason that he's at the doctor when this lady also calls him Hanky. Which I thought was cute. He says that he like pulled something playing touch football or something and fakes a limp, which is hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, he's faking that leg injury.
And then we get to meet Dr. Morley, who was a total fucking nerd.
He comes in and he says, "So you're here for consumption?"
Yeah, because Hank didn't spell it very well. I also thought it was really funny that Peggy just kind of like knew his whole schedule,
Peggy knows it
like how
very
often he
intimately.
normally poops.
She even called Hank's mother.
That's good. That's a good partner.
This might be the first reference to Hank's mom. But Peggy says, yeah, she even talked to Hank's mom and knows all about his schedule.
I don't really remember Hank's mom.
She's in a couple episodes. She comes back.
Yeah. He's like a mama's boy, right?
Hank is a mama's boy.
Obviously not a daddy's boy because Cotton kind of hates him. And has another son that he names Good Hank. Spoiler alert.
GH.
For later seasons.
There's the fun like hanging in there cat posters in the medical office walls, which I thought was fun.
Love those.
Cultural tie-in.
The nurse tells Hank to take off his pants, which he is also very just not okay with doing, even in front of his wife.
Yeah, he does not know what to do.
And we also see Bobby just kind of like wandering around the doctor's office. They start the procedure on Hank, which this is something that I didn't even really think of, but I was just rewatching this episode and like going through notes and like getting everything ready because it's been over a month since I first watched it. And Moret pointed out that this whole procedure that they're doing,
a sigmoidoscopy or
sigmoidoscopy or colonoscopy kind of, they totally would not be doing this if he was constipated. There would be nowhere for the fucking camera to go.
Yeah. Which is interesting that it's like somewhat of a mental block, I guess, for him. I thought that kind of the whole episode too, while they're in the cam. If he was truly constipated, they would,
But he definitely is. He hasn't pooped in, at this point, like 6 days, right?
Yeah, so where's all that red meat going? I mean, we'll find out later.
I think that they just like fucked up with their like medical. It is definitely like a funny visual to have them like put a camera up his butt, but like that is never what they would do in this scenario if he was constipated. Moret said that they would essentially, if he like was that like backed up, they would like stick a finger up his butt to like just kind of
digitally excise it.
Yeah.
Look at us in our poop medical terms.
Disimpacted, is what she said.
There you go.
Yeah.
I had a couple other notes in here when Hank does finally take his pants off. His legs just look really funny and really skinny. He's talking about the cotton balls. He's like, "Look, Peg, cotton balls, white ones. How many do you think are in there? I think 30."
What do you think it's like when when they bone down.
Oh,
if he's this repressed.
He blacks out, I guarantee you.
He's a real
yeah,
freak,
dude,
actually.
I guarantee you. He's a real freak. He's definitely a sub, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
A hot.
Yeah, he likes to get pegged. By Peggy.
Damn, it took us 6 episodes to get to that one.
At least we got there.
On the Bobby press and elevator buttons, a couple gives birth.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, they give birth on the 3rd floor, which is the 2nd floor that they hit in that scene. So either Bobby got off on the next floor or Bobby was in that elevator when a child was born in the elevator.
Well, you heard, like, Bobby hit them and walked out of the elevator, and then they went into
I
it.
must have got it wrong. I thought he stayed in the elevator.
No, I think he walked away, because he goes directly to the room and walks in as all of this is going down. There's also the doctor invites a medical student in, a hot medical student named Tasha.
Yeah, I wrote her name down
which
too,
is the worst thing. Yeah, right.
Tasha.
Hell yeah. That's sick.
She looked kind of like
hot.
Nancy with less big hair.
Yeah. Has that ever happened to you where you've been at the doctor and have to have like kind of a sensitive procedure done and then they're like, "Hey, can this student come in and watch?"
Not a sensitive procedure, no, but Rachel removed some staples from my head the other day, not too long ago, and they had a medical student.
You busted your little head open.
It bonked my noggin pretty hard.
Skateboarding.
This
dude's about to be a dad.
Skateboarding.
He's getting head injuries, bombing down.
Not wearing a helmet. Yeah. So Rachel had a student in the other day whenever she was taking my staples out, but that was kind of fun. Nice. But yeah, Tasha, she was hot. I wrote her name down. Hank, whenever Bobby comes in, Hank says, "Just kill me now." And the doctor's like, "Would you desire a bite plate?"
Yeah. He also lets Bobby like play with the little device with the camera.
Yeah, he's like, "Do you like video games?"
You want to shove a camera up your dad's butt?
Yeah, the doctor also he says, you know, Bobby, if we were to stretch your grandfather's colon out," and Hank's like, "I'm his father." The doctor calls him his grandfather. The doctor claims that the intestine would wrap around the world, and Hank is like, "Wait a second, that's not true. A piece of steak would have to shoot through you at the speed of sound." He was like, "That's BS."
Which I think, is like it. How long is like the small and large intestine?
I don't know. That's a good question. It's definitely not the entire.
It's not 25,000 miles.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's long. 22 feet for the small intestine.
Okay, so close.
That's close. And then the large intestine is 5 feet. Wait, the large intestine is shorter than the small intestine? I'm so dumb. Oh my god.
Is it? I don't know.
I think it
Welcome
might
to
be.
the Brad and Chris Are Dumb
probably
podcast.
We should probably ask our wives.
Welcome to the Married to Medical Professionals podcast.
We can edit that out. I can also edit out the thing where you exposed Rachel for pooping with the door open. No, I'm not going to edit that out.
She needs to be
dragged
in.
Wow. Yeah.
Bobby,
doctor's office is not 25,000 miles long.
Bobby thinks it's cool and asks if he can become a proctologist.
They schedule an operation for the end of the week, which also, like, he mentions taking out Hank's colon, which is very much not a thing. He's like, you can still live a very healthy and active life without a colon. You just can't wear shorts. And I did turn to Marette when he said that and said, "Is that true?" And she said, "No, you can. Of course, you can wear shorts."
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that like what a colostomy bag is? I don't know. I'm probably being medically inaccurate again. Ask your doctor, folks. Don't ask podcasters.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can ask us. Just give us a minute to look it up on WebMD.
Yeah.
We're reliable.
But yeah, definitely if your proctologist can't find your stuff with a scope there, don't immediately jump to exploratory surgery. We got better scans.
Unless
this was the 90s.
Unless you get a good deal on it.
Yeah, dude. If Costco sometimes has them on sale.
Yeah, Costco has
Yeah, dude. Ace
colonoscopies and
Hardware got a plumbing snake. You just hook your drill up to it.
yeah, man, put a snake in there.
There's a snake in my
You
boot.
pull it right out. Snake in my
Yeah.
booty is more like it. So Hank agrees to give the low-fat, high-fiber diet a chance, i.e., actually trying it out. So he and Peggy go to Soy to the World.
Soy to the World, yes.
Which is the best name for a health food store.
Yes.
Also, going into like a health food store or like a vegan restaurant in Texas is my favorite fucking thing in the world. Just to like watch people who have never been to a vegan restaurant before like try to grapple with the menu. It's so entertaining. I love it. Seeing someone experience tofu or like tempeh or like any like vegan alternative for the first time, especially a southern man, is the funniest shit.
You remember we were in Steamboat and we had that, what was that, like barbecued tofu, that like buffalo tofu? We were skiing. We ate
Yeah, was that
downtown.
jackfruit?
Yeah, maybe it was. It was something super good.
Yeah, I eat that shit all the time.
Get
For
him.
context, I am not a vegan. I'm just a vegetarian.
He's a soy boy.
I am a little soy boy, and I shop at Soy to the World, and I get faux foo, which is faux tofu.
They're not dogs. She says, so are these
not dogs.
are these like hot dogs? He's like, they're not dogs. They're faux foo.
I love the like naming conventions of vegan food. It's so funny.
Yes. Hank asks in Soy to the World, is there anything in here that tastes good? And the guy goes, no.
Just deadpan. No.
Yeah. No.
That is a big trope with vegan and vegetarian food that I do find to be true a lot of the time. There are a lot of like vegan alternatives that do objectively suck, but it is possible to make it fire.
That's true. And
there is some of it that's good as fuck.
Vegetables on their own are tasty, guys. Eat your vegetables. Yeah. Go to the doctor. You heard it here first.
Get your colon removed.
Get it scoped.
And eat a broccoli.
In the health food store, Hank gets upset because Peggy asks, "Is there anything good here for constipation?" And Hank's like, "You didn't have to, tell him it was for me." And Peggy was like, "I didn't say it was for you." And the guy goes, "Is this for your husband?" And she goes, "Yes."
Just immediately sell them out. So they get some health food. We cut back to the living room. This might have been my favorite like throwaway joke of the entire
I wrote this
episode.
one down
Hank's
too.
Hank's watching football, and you just hear like they're pouring Gatorade or something, and he's just like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, he's
watch out
for the Gatorade.
He's like cheering against them pouring Gatorade.
Yeah, he's
so funny.
Yeah, I wrote that down. I thought that was very funny. That he liked the win, but he didn't support the Gatorade. Yeah, getting the coach all sticky.
We get kind of a little montage of Hank like having bathroom time, and the guys like knock on the door,
ask if Hank can come out.
Hank gets acupuncture, and then goes and kicks the guy in the ass.
Yes, which is something that Luann saw that poster at the health food store.
There was like a flyer,
and Hank said, "If anyone tried to do that to me, I would kick their ass." And then just a couple scenes later, he does indeed kick the man in the ass. I had a funny note here. There's a note of encouragement on the mirror as Hank is in the bathroom, and it says something about like any mountain can be climbed when there's like a clear goal. And there's some like little quip, a note of encouragement on the mirror. So I was like, I'm going to look that up because all the little things in this episode, or in this series, they're related to something. I can't remember the exact wording of the quote, but the person who said the quote, actually, I looked it up earlier. The person who said the quote was the founder of Chick-fil-A.
What? Yeah. Who is the founder of Chick-fil-A?
His name is Samuel Truett Cathy. Cathy, spelled Cathy.
S. Truett Cathy.
Yes.
He is a handsome gentleman.
The quote is, "No goal is too high if we climb with care and confidence." That's what is the note on Hank's mirror, and person who said that is the founder of Chick-fil-A, who I believe is a Texan.
Huh.
Um,
and a noted homophobe.
Yeah.
Right?
So interesting notes back.
Wow. Now I'm going down a
I know,
Chick-fil-A
crazy,
rabbit
right?
hole. I'll save this for later. Yeah. Good pull.
One little detail.
They go to the restaurant. Peggy invites everybody.
For
This is
encouragement.
back at Luby's again, right? And Hank, everyone's eating nice, big, meaty meals, and Hank has a salad. Goes to the bathroom, like thinks he might need to go. Peggy goes with him. Someone's in there. She slams on the door.
Yeah.
Just continuously embarrassing my guy.
She makes him use the women's restroom.
Yep, goes into the women's restroom.
While he's in there,
which
he
was hilarious.
takes a look around, notices the cowgirl on the wall, the flowery mirror, and then the tampon machine, and shudders.
Just the thought of the female reproductive system.
Yeah. Bill has a fun line in the beginning of this scene as Hank is eating his salad, and Bill says, salad doesn't have to have salad. He goes, there's potato salad. So salad doesn't have to be salad, folks. You heard it here first.
I love a potato
salad, pasta salad, fruit salad, yummy, yummy.
I guess.
Sound off with other salads that aren't salads in the comments.
What's your favorite non-salad salad?
Probably pasta salad.
I think tuna salad is kind of underrated if it's good.
Big tuna boy over here.
I like a tuna. I guess I'm pescatarian. I'm not vegetarian. I'll eat a tuna.
Don't come
sometimes.
for him.
Don't come on me.
I'm about to bust.
Don't come on him. He likes fish, okay?
Yeah, I like fish, man.
He likes fish. Don't come on him.
Yeah, this little sad montage continues. He's like looking on from the bathroom at Lady Bird and Bobby. Bobby's inspecting a squirrel's butthole.
Looking up a squirrel's ass.
Typical boy stuff. Luann is like driving the mower, I think. He's just looking sad in the bathroom.
I noted that was another note of Luann being really competent at a lot of things. She's on the mower. Yeah. She's fixed the car. She's done a lot of other things.
Yeah.
She's not the greatest at hair.
She's doing.
She's not good on the book learning.
Carburetor.
Yeah, dude. Luann is capable.
Yeah. Peggy is talking with Nancy, I believe, again. While Hank is having his bathroom time, she's kind of starting to realize that Hank is being deprived. Hank drops his glasses in the toilet, and Peggy thinks that he may have pooped.
There's Nancy at the beginning. She asks Peggy, Hank seems really down, and Peggy goes, well, he's a shell of a man. And
I've done it.
Nancy says, I never knew Hank would have the ability to give up everything in his life that he loves. And Peggy is like, oh no, that's me. Peggy starts to realize, if it wasn't me, he'd still be out drinking beer and having friends, having fun with his friend. Living his life. So Peggy starts to feel guilty.
Yep. And then her and Hank kind of have a heart to heart. She realizes she's being a little too harsh. Hank says that he's done with all of this shit. He needs to live his life, and if he dies with a cheeseburger in his colon, then he'll die a happy man.
Yes.
They get a
the
little
glasses
emotional.
Plop is just so funny in that scene though.
Yeah.
Nice plop sound.
And we kind of get Hank showing some emotion, like tearing up.
He does, dude. He does tear up.
Yeah. Peggy essentially says she's like worried about losing him, and he does the like, well, I'll be here for a long while. But choked up Hank.
Yeah.
It's fun to see.
Yeah. That was kind of one of the big cruxes that I feel like we almost got to this place in one of the earlier episodes where Hank is, it's the Luann episode where Hank is like having trouble telling Luann how he feels and all of that type of stuff. We kind of finally get to the catharsis with it in this episode.
Yeah, we've definitely had moments of him being sincere, like with the Luann thing, or like with him and Bobby, the like dang it, you're my boy thing, when Bobby thinks that he's like embarrassed of him. But you can definitely tell that like it kind of hits different with Peggy.
Yeah. And once once he's finally able to let go of his pride, is whenever he's finally able to go.
Which beautiful metaphor,
yes. I was like, he did it. He did it.
Literally,
yeah, I thought
he shit it.
Peggy's hugging him super hard, and Peggy's like, "Oh, Hank, I wish we could just stay in this moment forever," like where they're opening up and being emotional. And Hank goes, "I do too, but I can't. I really can't." He's like shoving her off, runs into the
Oh my
bathroom,
God, it's so juicy.
He pushes Bobby out of the bathroom after a split second, which is funny.
Bobby's brushing his teeth.
Yeah.
And he goes, they're all standing outside the door.
Opera music plays.
He comes out and they cheer and he picks Peggy up, which the episode fucking ends there. Which is such a weird way to end the episode.
There's a credit scene again, which I'm guessing. Did you watch it this time?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, nice.
I watched the post-credit scene.
I saw a bit of trivia online here that says that whenever Bobby gets pushed out of the bathroom, he's in his pajamas, but the next time you see him, he's back in his day clothes.
Oh, I think I read that too. Yeah. Interesting mishap.
Yeah.
But yeah, ends kind of on a weird note. And then we get this little post-credit scene of Hank on the mower.
Apologizing for his brief nudity.
Yeah, and saying that Fox was pushing for a lot more, this is an interesting, like, Hank is an actor.
Yes, we get a fourth wall break from it, and he says, "I'm just an actor."
I wonder if they ever do that again. So now we've established that this is just a sitcom, and Hank is an actor.
Yep. They broke the fourth wall on it.
Do you think his name is actually Hank Hill?
Probably.
He plays himself. Yeah. It's kind of like a Everybody Loves Raymond type of situation.
Yeah.
I wonder if that ever comes up again, if there's ever another like post-credit scene like this.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eye out on the fourth wall breaks because that is the first time that they've done it.
But yeah, he says that he would only show the side of his rump. Basically, was as far as he was willing to go, but Fox wanted more.
Believe me, they were pushing for more.
Yeah, that's where it cuts off, and that's the end of the episode. Should we move into our final segment of this here episode of the show?
God dang it, Bobby! God dang it, Bobby! God dang it! God dang it, Bobby! God dang it, Bobby! God dang it! God dang it, Bobby! God dang it, Bobby! God dang it! God dang it, Bobby! God dang it, Bobby! God dang it, Bobby! 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 Dang it, Bobby! 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 Dang it, Bobby!
So, what'd you think? What overall are you giving this episode?
I think
out of beers in a case.
Out of the 6-pack, I'm definitely going to politely drink the first beer you offer me, but I might think about saying no to the second one. Honestly, for me,
you're giving 1 out of 6 Alamo brews.
I might, just because.
Damn.
It's like I wanted a beeline out of this story.
There was no B plot.
No, absolutely no B plot. Actually, you know what? I'll give it 2, and I think the only reason I'm bumping it up to 2 beers is because of how many other little fan service factors there are in here. The throwaway and the visual gags here are super strong. Like,
yeah, there were definitely a lot of good.
The C Everett Koop content, the Bobby looking up a squirrel's ass and blowing on the colon, like a lot of the side throwaway stuff is good. So I'm gonna give it 2 beers.
Like story-wise, kind of bad, but like writing and joke-wise, pretty quick and good. I think I'd probably go 2, maybe 2.5. I'd crack a third, maybe, but I probably wouldn't finish it. I'd say I gotta go. I gotta get up early in the morning. I gotta leave.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I get where it feels very like in place in the 90s to do like an episode about like men being open about their health and taking their health seriously and all that type of thing.
Yeah, and centering it around poop is a good move too.
Yeah. So I'm calling it a solid 2 beers.
I'm okay with that. But more importantly, what would you say is your Hill King of the episode, final segment style. This is a part of the show where we crown our king of the hill, who we thought was the best in the episode, completely based off of how we're feeling in this exact moment and no other criteria at all. Since I drove the mower, hit me with your Hill King.
Ooh, so I kind of forgot we did this segment since it's been a while since we recorded.
This is like the main thing of the show, man.
Let's see. Who is my Hill King of this podcast? I mean, it's a Hank-centric podcast. It's really Hank's
podcast?
Yeah, episode, but everything's a podcast, baby. I think my Hill King is the man himself, C Everett Koop.
Dude, I was gonna go with C Everett Koop.
You gotta think of a new one. Yeah.
Yay!
C Everett Koop in the past has just been a reference, but this episode we got a lot more.
He was in it, so he qualifies.
He had a speaking part. He was on the. Yeah, he was featured in that funny dream. So yeah,
So are we saying that someone has to actually be in the episode to qualify for Hill King?
I don't exactly know if they have to be speaking, but they do have to be referenced in it. Yeah, they have to be a part of it.
But
somehow.
they have to be like a person who was in.
No, it could be a. You could get metaphysical with it if you wanted. If you're gonna say.
You're just trying to defend your Wemitanye.
Are you saying Wemitanye is not real?
I'm saying Wemitanye maybe wasn't a valid Hill King.
Okay, bro. Who brought that crane back? Because that crane was knocked unconscious for like 12 hours.
Bobby is magic.
Yeah, all right. It was Wemitanye, bro, but go on.
All right, I'll let it fly because you're going with C Everett Koop, and that's what I had as well. So,
I mean, I guess the only
double C Everett Koop.
The only other Hill King I think could rightfully, I think maybe be Hank.
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty Hank-centric ep here.
He gets a big breakthrough. I mean, some people could argue it was Peggy, but
for caring about her husband.
I don't think Hank didn't have to put her through all of that. He could have just.
I think maybe it could be Bobby Bobby's my Hill Prince for the sick ass gag of hitting all the buttons on the elevator. Love
Classic.
that. The shining the flashlight up the squirrel's butt.
Also very funny.
Loved that. The ice cream and saying it helps you make.
Yes.
Whenever
they say that a
table.
lot. That was one of my favorite things about the episode is that's how they describe it is make, which I thought was hilarious. My Hill Prince, my Hill Young Royal is. I'm bringing it back to Tasha the Hot Doctor.
Oh yeah, Tasha is my Hill crush.
Oh. I wonder if she pops back up.
Yeah, I hope she does.
Yeah. Well, that was it.
I'm about to bust.
Still a fun one.
It's a good ep.
Yeah. Next.
Not a standout.
Next episode heads up to the listeners and audience. Next episode 7, West East Side Story, is a little bit racy. It's
the introduction of
it's the introduction to the Super Nuisampones, and it is very 90s.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about Khan.
Tune in again next week. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll do it for this episode. That was the first time I think we ever agreed on a Hill King. So good for us.
Look at us.
And good for you all for listening.
And
if you did and you enjoyed it, or if you didn't enjoy it, hit them with it.
Go to the doctor.
Oh, yeah. If you enjoyed it, go to the doctor. Also, more importantly, subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify.
Like, subscribe, leave us some comments.
Hit a like, hit the notifications, leave some comments, let us know what we did wrong.
Correct Brad
let
on
us
his
know.
Icelandic pronunciations.
Correct me on that. Really drag me in the comments about all the stuff that I said about Iceland. Drag Chris's wife for pooping with the door open.
Let us know if you're a door open or door closed.
Oh, also that bet we made, we need to chop Chris's finger off on the
No,
3rd grade,
well,
4th grade.
yeah,
thing.
if they stick around, if it's Sunday, stay in your seats.
Oh yeah, only if it's
Stay in
Sunday.
your seats
yeah.
if it's Sunday. Once we play the outro music, you'll get the bonus content only on Sundays.
Only yeah, that'll be dynamically inserted.
Sunday, dynamic insertion.
Anyway, thanks for joining. We'll see you next week. Hey, look at this. Look, watch. You're not looking. See that? It's cool, right?
Hill Kings Podcast.
It's pretty sick.
Work.
Oh, you know what?
Work. No, and I guess that means we won't have the we probably won't have the video